In this video, we're going to add a group to the system and kind of discuss what groups do. Under Contacts here, you will find two selections, New Group and Manage Groups. First, I'm going to show you the New Groups interface, and what we're going to do here is we're actually going to create a group for pastors. We've already created several groups in the system, but we haven't created one for pastors yet. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to come in here, and we're going to name this Pastors. Down here we could add a description if we want to, but pastors is pretty self-explanatory, so I don't think that we need to add a description to that. Over here you have two group types, which is access control and mailing list. If this group was just going to be used for a mailing list, for instance, if this was just a youth group or something along that lines, and there wasn't going to be any staff members associated with it, you could click mailing list if you want to. You don't have to click either one. As you can see, it's not a mandatory to list what group type it is. But if this is just going to be used for mailing purposes, it's a good idea to click that that's a mailing list. If this is going to be staff members, if this particular anybody that is in this group is going to be a staff member and you want them to have administrative positions, you want to click access control here. What that's going to do is let the network administrator know when they're reviewing this that we need to go ahead and give administrative positions to anybody in this group who doesn't have full control yet. Down here you'll see visibility. This will always actually be selected. User and user admin only select that. Public pages won't do anything, as this is a secure system. So add parent. If this is going to be a group of staff members, you're going to want to come down here and select administrators. Once again, that's going to let the network administrator confirm and know that this particular group needs to have full administrative positions to the system. Next we're going to click continue. And we will come to the next screen where it says Add to Group Pastors. It says find contacts to add to this group. You don't actually have to do that at this point in time. You can just go off and go about your business in the system if you want. But if you have, for instance, somebody that you want to immediately add to the system, you could type their name here. We have a gentleman in the system that we've entered by the name of James, and what I'm going to do is I'm not going to specify. As you notice, that nothing's coming up here. This is not an active search window. Okay, you're just going to type in the name. It could be first, last, whatever you want. You could select that this was an individual you're looking for. You could see if they were already in any groups, and you could check if they had any tags on them, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to specify an individual by the name of James, and here we have a gentleman by the name of James Smith, and we're going to select him, and we're going to click Add Contacts to Pastors, and that will add him to this pastors. We click Add to Group just to confirm that, and now we are done. And now we go up to Contacts, and we go down to Manage Groups. I'm going to bypass this little screen right here. I want to show you this. Come into Manage Groups. Now we'll see here we have listed pastors. It's an access control list. We have contacts, settings, more. I'm going to click Contacts, and this is going to show me that James Smith is a member of the group Pastors. Now I'm going to go back to the screen where we're just at. This said Manage Groups, and this is a screen that's going to show you all your groups, and you can create quite a bit of groups. As you can see, it will break them down by letter if you want to, or at the default is to show you all of them, but you can go through and you can break them down just by letter if you wanted to. If I wanted to just select C, I could go down and it would show me all the groups that start with the letter C, but I don't want to do that. I want to have all of these visible. You'll see we have a group known as administrators, which are granted administrative positions, permissions I mean. Then we have a benefits specialist, a benevolence coordinator, counselors, health services coordinator, pastors, which we just added in, vocational specialists, and volunteer. Those are the default groups in the system, but you can feel free to add any groups to the system that you need to. Notice that the only one here that does not show that the group is in an access control list is volunteer. Volunteers may not necessarily have access to the system, so we do not list them as automatically being in the access control group. If volunteers do need access to the system, but they don't fall into any of these groups, we can give them selective permissions or administrative permissions depending on whatever you want. This screen right up here is a way to find groups. If you have a lot of groups and you want to find them real quick, you can just go through the screen. Let's say that I'm going to look for benefits. It's an access control group, and we don't have to worry about the about the visibility. That is just if it's public pages and user admin, it will always be user and user admin only. This is a secure system. Select enabled, click search, and I will be brought to benefit specialists, the only thing that had benefits in it. It is an access control group, and they are enabled, meaning that it is not a disabled group. The group is active. And that is how you find groups and add people to groups and also add groups to the system.